Welcome, travelers, to the Tales of Adventure live stream. Normally, at this point, I would launch into an epic, oratorical speech where I do the intro to the show, but today I have admin points to give to you, the audience. Number 1, point the first. At approximately halfway through the show, after maybe 40 to 45 minutes, there will be a break. Are you telling me that this is not live?
Yes.
Yeah, it's not live.
I didn't look at it. I thought, no,
But I don't know at all. Hang on.
Just going ham over here, and
It is.
you keep on smacking me down.
It is. No, it is.
It is live.
Oh, well, it's
Oh, yeah,
Just
we're fully
delayed
live.
by about a minute.
Oh, we're fully live. This is great.
Point the second.
Yes.
There may be occasionally some technical difficulties with the stream, but we will persevere in the face of mistakes and pauses where we stop and we ask, is this still working? And then we all have a moment of extreme panic. Point third. After today's show, there will be a brief Q&A session with the entire cast, whereupon you can ask us questions and we will answer them, which is how a Q&A works. Point the fourth and final. If you want to draw some audience fan art of the occurrences in today's episode, please do, and then tweet us at it at Tales_Adventure. We will retweet you, and then you may win tickets to see the show live in the Bristol Improv Theatre once this foul curse has been driven from the land of England. Well, with that all said, it's time for us to recommence with Tales of Adventure. I'm going to do a dramatic appearance. Since the dawn of time,
Nice.
people have told stories of great heroes and terrible villains. Since sometime in the 1970s, specifically 74, we think, but nerds have used role-playing games to create such stories for themselves, escaping into worlds of fantasy where orcs and elves, wizards and warriors, and even, dare I say, without infringing copyright, dragons and dungeons take center stage. Tonight's story is just one of many such tales of adventure. These are our heroes, and are you term advisedly. Jeffrey Banjo, half-elf bard.
Well, everybody, shout out to all the fanjos out there and all the new fanjos that are popping up all over the place, which I imagine is just the case, to be honest. Pretty excited about what's going on. A little bit confused as well. I've been hearing voices. People telling me to play with demons and get a dagger and shove it in a heart. Something about a cow as well. Don't know what's going on there, but excited to find out. I reckon this is going to make a cracking story for my memoirs.
Veggie Pygmy Druid, Reverend Hatchet.
Hello, good evening. I am a veggie pygmy. Think Ewok, but mossy. Yes, and I've actually just transformed myself into a Highland cow. Clever thinking. That's what that is. That's what. Just wait. I've got such plans. Such plans. Don't worry. I've got it handled. Fine.
Halfling class collector. That's rogue / warlock / barbarian, for those of you who are keeping track. Trim Toss Cobble.
Hello. I'm Trim. I'm currently residing in the body of a kind of grotesque, enormous horse cat that hasn't worked. I tried disguise self, but it just went horribly horrific. So I'm not feeling my best self. I'm feeling a bit peaky. I've also got lots of angry cats the size of a horse that want to attack me. So I'm feeling under pressure. I'm feeling like, is my life at stake yet again? can I handle another death? I don't know that I can. I don't know that I can. So it's all up in the air, all to play for.
Half-orc paladin, Bagsy Badley.
Hi guys. Hi guys. So I'm Bagsy Badley. I'm pretty fierce, both in the fabulous sense and the murdery sense. Just really looking forward to going on another adventure with these guys, and not so much looking forward to killing a cow because that seems mean. But maybe we don't have to. Hopefully not.
And I, of course, am the dungeon master who controls the reality of the world, determining the outcome of our heroes' every actions and rolling the dice that control the strands of fate, from the dizzying highs of a natural 20 to the dismal lows of a natural 1. Just recently, I have begun to hate the players and their characters due to their stubborn persistence in using to die throughout 10 seasons of epic adventures. Soon I shall have my revenge upon them and crush them all with my mighty powers. But before that, a brief recap. Previously on Tale Adventure Season 11, traveling through the woods, our heroes came upon a strange cloaked figure. Introduced himself as a fortune teller named Low Blow Watkins, whose heart had been stolen by an evil demon and concealed inside the body of a Highland cow atop a nearby tower. Trusting the man implicitly because he seemed trustworthy, who could not trust a name like Lola Watkins, our heroes went and invaded the tower and have fought their way up and down. Some of them climbed to the top and went downwards. Some of them went in the door and went upwards. And they're meeting somewhere around the middle. They have engaged in combat with a demon named Ickfor the Evil on one floor, and then on the floor above that, with 12 angry cats the size of horses. Somewhat predictably, the angry cat size of horses are much more dangerous than the demon. But this is where our tale resumes. This is episode 2 of season 11, Tower of Power. And so,
Steve,
we find ourselves
your audio's a bit funny, Steve.
the summoning room inside the tower. Bagsy Badley and Jeffrey Banjo are engaged in combat with a 12-foot tall figure.
Oh, it looks like he's doing great acting as well, but I can't see. All right,
He's doing
Steve,
some
I'm going to try and stop your
wonderful-
video and see if the audio makes it any better. Might jump
Yeah,
us
without the
around.
video, the audio might be good.
Form. Apart from one of them has been half cut off and it's kind of wonky. One room above that,
We're going to jump around.
in a very cluttered room full of furniture, Trim
that sounds
Toscobble has disguised herself horribly as a sort of cat-human hybrid and has been attacked by 12 large horse-sized cats.
True.
Right, we've moved around.
Reverend
Halfway.
Yeah.
has come to the rescue
Body swap.
and has done so by
We've body swapped. So we can hear Steve really, really well, but we've also just moved around on the stream. So I'm gonna
Let us
just move everybody back.
resume. in
Graham's there.
Four.
Graham's here as well. So
Graham, hello.
meet our illustrator, everybody.
So, from underneath 12 cats. What are you doing? They're on top of you and they're scratching you
Oh,
and they're
damn.
hitting at you and they're making sort of growly noises.
Oh,
Very unpleasant.
very
Oh no.
unpleasant. Well,
I'm
oh my-
using the microphone I was told to use. What else can I do?
it seems clearer now. This is good.
Do I
I think.
switch to the other microphone?
Maybe.
You turn me off. How about now?
Oh.
The sound is good.
I can hear you now.
Hey, can you do your speech again?
Yeah, we'll take it from the top. Take it from the top.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shake it out, everyone. Shake it out. Shake it out.
Oh,
Is Steve there?
Steve?
Master?
Steve?
Dungeon Master?
Dungeon Master, sir? Are you there?
Ooh.
Are you there?
Where's he gone?
Oh no.
God is dead!
Patience, everyone.
Let's,
I propose that while Jeffrey is moving the picture. Welcome to Tales of Adventure, Season 11, Episode 2. We're taking it from the top, but I, the all-knowing, omnipresent Dungeon Master, here represented by a small grey rectangle with my name in it, I'm not going to do the whole spiel from the top, because that's just a waste of time now. Oh, I've got a photo?
Yeah, you got a photo of you drinking a cocktail.
Perfect. That's how I want people to think of me.
That's your vibe.
Last time on Tales of Adventure, our heroes infiltrated a tower from the top and the bottom in search of a cow, inside which is a box, inside which is the heart of Low Blow Watkins, a hooded, cloaked figure who said that he was a fortune teller, and everybody trusted him because why not? But they have found themselves faced with terrible opposition. On the one floor of the tower, Bagsy Badley and Geoffrey Banjo are engaged in deadly combat with Ickthor the Awful, a demon of some deadliness. Bagsy has struck a terrible blow to one of his wings and cut it like half off, and Geoffrey has nicked his dagger and flirted with him a bit. One floor above that, Trim Toscobble was sneaking through a room full of horse-sized cats when suddenly she made a noise, and they all jumped on her and clawed her nearly to death. She has only 30 hit points remaining out of an original 106, but don't worry, because Reverend Hatchet has burst onto the scene and, in an attempt to save Trim, turned into a small Highland cow of his own. We'll resume with Trim Toscobble's turn. Trim, you are buried underneath 12 horrible horse-sized cats in a room full of furniture, bookshelves, chests, tables, dribbly candles. It's impossible to move without knocking something over that will make noise or do a shiny thing. What are you doing? You're nearly dead.
Well, my first reaction is going to be a hellish rebuke, and with the last creature that damaged me, we'll have to take a roll. Is that right?
They would have to make a dexterity save.
Dexterity save, right.
And if they fail, they will take 2 dice 10 fire damage.
Fire damage.
The cat has passed its dexterity save because it's a cat. They're good
dexterous,
at that.
Aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
Famously.
Reverend Hatchet, from your perspective, it looks as though from the inside of this ball of angry, hissing, clawing, mewling cats, there's suddenly a very small explosion and a disappointed sound from Trim Toscobble.
I know that sound.
But you still have a normal action to take, Trim.
Yes. I'm going to try and leap and climb through the pile and jump onto the chandelier on the top of the ceiling and try and grab hold of it and keep out of Paw's reach from the cats.
That will require an athletics roll. That's a mighty athletic thing you to do. Are you good at athletics, Trim?
I'm kind of. I've not really. No. It's on strength, isn't it? I've got +4 on strength, and it's on there, but I don't.
Well, you're not even trained in athletics.
I'm not proficient, really, in athletics. No, I'm just really confident.
Don't worry, the best of us aren't, Trim. Don't worry about it.
Sometimes confidence is all you need.
With your +4 bonus, you've rolled only a 13, which I'm going to say is not quite good enough to do a standing leap from underneath 12 horse-sized cats and grab a chandelier.
Understood.
You have managed to fight your way clear to the top of the pile, though. So now you could flee in the direction of what looks to be a small Highland cow in the corner.
Yeah, right. For my dash, I get an extra action, don't I? I'm going to dash over towards the cow and just be like, cow, hello.
Well, you're easily able to get all the way across the room and indeed behind the cow, whose turn it is next. Reverend Hatchet, you are a small Highland cow.
Now, small a Highland cow may be, but if you have ever been near a Highland cow, I mean, they are pure muscle, and I mean, they've got some horns on them. They've got a glint. So, I'm going to charge, and I'm going to gore the bejesus out of some horse cats. I'm just going to right.
You're just gonna barge
in the-
straight into melee.
I mean, right into the pile. I'm gonna get a kind of a double horned like flump, trying to see how many I can skewer for maybe a kind of a cat horse barbecue later.
A cat horse bar. Why would you eat cat? People don't eat cats or horses at barbecue.
People did accidentally for a time. 2016, am I right? Tesco.
When it all
Keeping
started.
it relevant.
Keeping those references up to date. Yeah.
Well, with a mighty roll of 19, just short of a natural 20, you do indeed trample one of the horse cats brutally. It's gored upon your horns and then falls beneath your tiny highland hooves. And it takes 17 damage, which almost kills it, but not quite.
How many hit points do the cat horses have?
I'm not obliged to tell you.
Oh, you're not? Oh, okay.
So I won't, because as has been previously established, I hate you and I want you to die. I will say, though, that horse cat has been squished beneath the hooves of an angry Highland cow, and it looks very sorry for itself, and it's letting out a pitiful, high-pitched mewling.
Can we hear that?
You certainly can. It sounds a bit like this. It's not having a good time, this cat. However, unfortunately for that small Highland cow, 11 other angry hippopotamuses, because that is what the proper name is for a horse-cat hybrid, turn upon you and they lash out with their claws. Oh, shit. Nope. Most of them have missed.
Nice.
That is implausibly bad roll. Only 3 of them managed to lay a claw upon the somehow incredibly nimble and hard to hit Highland cow. And what? Rolled like all 1s and 2s for damage.
Always underestimating their Highland cows, man. That's why
You take 14 damage. Which is not too bad. How many hit points does a Highland cow have anyway?
I'm going to argue. I mean, a lot. Again, they're stocky, very, very stoic. Highland cow is going to be pretty tough to take down.
22
Anyone-
is what it says on the internet.
It's not very much.
God, how much does that leave you with? I've completely forgotten how much damage I said.
14.
You said 1 damage.
I heard that.
I had 14.
It was 14, thank you. That leaves Reverend Hatchet the cow with 8 hit points.
Oh,
Loads.
Meanwhile, downstairs in the ritual chamber, in a room with a floor covered in arcane sigils in a loose circle and all kinds of candles, you know, the drippy kind that are kind of like all guttering and walls covered in intricately detailed tapestries in strange colors of thread. Jeffrey Banjo, you are standing, well, in fact, you are lying on the floor in between the legs of a large demon who, as previously established, has no genitals. It's just smooth down there like an action man. In one hand, you clasp the silver dagger that Low Blow Watkins told you was the only way to kill this demon, and only when wielded by one pure of heart, which basically means you in this group. Your other hand is still lingering gently on the demon's thigh, and he's looking down at you with a sort of like awkward, flirty look in his eye. It's your turn. What are you doing?
Oh yeah, I remember. I did the. Do I get the impression that he's still under the effects of modify memory?
Yeah, he's well. I mean, before you cast
Basically.
modify memory on him, he was in a fight, and when you cast modify memory on him, you made him think that you were at a party. Is that right?
Yeah. We had a party. We bonded. It was great time, basically.
Yeah, he's not looking at you like an enemy. He's looking at you like someone who's just had a nice party with, and now you've put your hand on his thigh.
Okay, cool. But he's not noticed. He's not noticed that I've taken the dagger though.
Apparently not.
Okay, I'm gonna remove my hand from his thigh and be like, "Hey, Ichthor, Probably not the time. Probably something else that we need to deal with first. You know, of that kind of thing. I'm hearing there's a lot of commotion upstairs. Maybe
But
we
Jeffrey,
need to sort that out. And I start walking
Jeffrey,
back.
there's no time like the present. And he bends down and he extends one uncomfortably long arm and puts his huge, lengthy fingered and taloned claw on your thigh and winks at you.
Okay, is he? How close is his chest right now?
Oh, you know, reasonably, like at the end of his arm. His arm is like 2 meters long.
Because is
Social
it close enough,
distancing,
basically, for
apparently.
me? Yeah, I mean, 2 meters away. Come on, Ixor. But also, is it close enough for me to stab with the
You'd have to
dagger?
jump up, but you could try to stab him, yes.
I'm going to pretend that I'm going in for a hug and actually stab this evil demon thing because I'm pure of heart. It'd be like,
That's so horrible, Jeffrey.
Ixor. Oh,
The
don't
last
worry
thing he
about
thought
it.
he was getting
And
in his
then-
life was love.
And then I'm gonna stab him.
Well, okay, so that's going to require a deception roll first.
Okay, I'm comfortable
which you've
with
got
that.
a plus 15, which is stupid. I'm just going to say it's stupid as
Okay.
ahead of time. So that's a 26. So obviously,
Nice.
you succeed. He goes in for the hug, and then you stab.
Yes.
It's worth saying at this point that you are really bad at stabbing things.
Okay. I'm okay. My
Like-
dexterity's not that bad. I'm trying to do it sneakily as well. Like, is it sort of sleight of hand, maybe?
It's not. Listen, sleight of hand is like stealing someone's watch,
Okay.
or like
that's fair.
picking their pocket, or maybe like drawing something on someone's face while they're asleep.
Ooh,
What this is
that's a
just
good
murder.
suggestion. Maybe deterrent.
So, with a roll of 4 on the dice,
Oof. Oh, I'm feeling quite.
you have
lucky, though.
absolutely. That means I have to re-roll. With a roll of 7 on the
Oh,
dice,
fuck.
plus your proficiency bonus and your dexterity modifier, that's only 15, and his armor class is better than that.
Oh crap.
Can I, even though that's far, can I push him forward to maybe land on the dagger? So that
Well,
he
hang on.
lands-
It's going to be your turn next,
Oh,
but
okay.
Jeffrey has tried to stab this guy in the chest and failed.
Can I try and style it out and be like, oh, sorry. Oh, I tripped.
We'll leave the styling for next turn. For
Okay.
now, rest assured that your attempted stab has apparently just buried the dagger in his manly chest hair,
Okay.
and it's thick enough and luxurious enough to block the blow entirely.
Okay.
At least when wielded by your puny arms. Bagsy Badley, Jeffrey has been pulled into a hug.
Yeah. So what my plan is to push him over onto Jeffrey so that the knife goes into his heart, crushing him and Jeffrey a little bit. But I'm sure Jeffrey will be fine.
Okay.
Oh, and behind him as well, so he's not expecting it.
He is not. You've actually... Well, you rolled a 19 and he rolled a 4 before even considering the fact that you're ridiculously strong. Yeah. Wow. Okay, you did even better than Jeffrey's ludicrous deception roll. You push, and then they topple for a moment, and then they tumble down and fall, and there's sort of like a thud and a stab sound crushed together. Normally at this point during the show, I'd ask the audience to make it, but I'm going to ask you to make it instead, Bagsy.
What noise am I doing?
A stab combined with a thud of something hitting the floor.
Okay.
Is that what you think stabs sound like?
Every time I've done it.
You've just been stabbing people with whoopee cushions this entire time.
Sure, yeah.
Jeffrey, the demon lands on top of you with a thud, and you take 1 point of damage.
Okay.
In a suspiciously easy roll for you. You got off lightly. The demon, however, quivers and shakes as the dagger does finally sink through his chest hair and into his body. He shakes and he quivers and he jerks around, his limbs flying all over the place. Jeffrey, there's a huge guy on top of you fumbling around with very little coordination just after you touched each other's thighs. It's weirdly reminiscent of something that you have no previous experience with. Meanwhile, upstairs, Trim Tosscobble, you have escaped from underneath 12 angry horse cats, but now your friend, Reverend Hatchet, in the shape of a cow, is surrounded by 12 angry horse cats. There's strange bits and pieces of treasure being knocked all over the place as the chest is knocked onto its side and the lid flies open.
That sounds nice.
Strange objects tumble out into the room around you.
That sounds nice.
A collection of books that all seem to be about totally unethical goat farming tumble across the floor in front of you.
I like the callback.
And one solid gold coin rolls gently towards your feet and taps against your boot before falling over.
That sounds nice. I pick up the coin and I throw it far away the other side of the room, and I'm like, "Hey, kitty, kitty, kitties!" and like throw it across the room, thinking hopefully they will catch it. They will run after it. A ploy.
A plan, a trick.
It's a ploy. It's a trickster. Do I have to do any I don't know, deception? Like I try and convince the cats that it's a toy or something?
I don't know. I feel like this would be animal handling, which you're really bad at.
I'm really bad at that.
You've rolled the 4. Well,
with a -1.
Yeah. The cats have noticed you. The coin bounces off the far wall, and the cat's eyes follow it all together, and it bounces to the floor. It bounces off the floor and across the path of Reverend Hatchet in cow form. It rolls round the side of the chest of books spilled onto the floor, and it lands at your feet.
Oh.
And all of the cats look up at you.
Shit. Shit. Is the trap door? Is the trap door near me? Am I standing on top of it?
It's just behind you.
Just behind.
It's just
me?
behind you. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna be like, cow, because I don't know that this is Reverend Hatchet. I think it's just a cow.
No, what if you think it's the cow we've come to kill?
I might think it's the cow we've come to kill. Oh shoot. I'm gonna be like, cow, because I think we need to stab the cow specifically. Jeffrey has to do it. So, cow, come this way, run! I'm going to open the trap door and be like, this way, this way. So I'm trying to get the cow to come this way, maybe by
to clarify,
jumping and shouting.
While I applaud the lack of metagaming it takes for you to realise that you may not know that this cow is Reverend Hatchet, do you just assume that cows can understand you when you say things to them? I mean, it's the right assumption to make. This cow can understand you when you say things to it.
Would I know that? With my animal handling skills, probably not. I think I just shout at the cow anyway, just because I think it's like, well, we need to kill it. So I'm desperately trying to get it over.
Cow Hatchet. Trim is yelling at you from over by the trapdoor.
Is that the trapdoor going up or the trapdoor going down?
Down.
The trapdoor going down.
Okay, well, I know. Hang on, am I still on a pile of cats?
You are in the midst of a lot of cats who are all looking at Trim very kind of like cross between angry and hungrily, and you're surrounded by a litter of objects that have been knocked off of tables and out of boxes. There's a metronome, there's a coil of rope, there's weirdly there is a cup of tea that somehow has not been spilled in the hullabaloo.
Nice.
I'm sure we can fix that, because if I'm right in the middle of a pile of cats, I've got another spell which might work quite well. If I'm a cat, if I'm a cow, I can drop polymorph and cast another spell.
You certainly can.
In that case, with a bellowing, I'll stop concentrating on polymorph, pop back into my normal kind of little veggie form, and then cast Thunder Wave at maybe a fit. Why not? As a 5th level spell.
As a 5th level spell?
Yeah.
Am I going to get hit in that?
Holy shit, Bob.
Trim's not going to do well from that.
No, Trim, you're not amongst the cats. You will be fine.
Oh,
Well,
okay, it's a radius thing. Okay, good.
Yeah. So as a 5th level spell, each cat is going to have to make a Constitution saving throw, which cats are not good at. And if they fail, they're going to be blown across the room and take a lot of thunder. Uh-oh. What is your spell save DC, Reverend Hatchet?
17.
Oh, fuck.
I'm bloody great at
Nice.
spells, me.
Have we made
Every single cat
soup?
has failed, which means that they're all going to take 6d8 thunder damage.
How much
Which is a
HP
lot.
do cats have
That's a lot.
normally? Oh, they're not cats. Are they horse cats?
They're
Oh,
horse
horses
cats.
and
Oh,
cats.
okay, cool.
Is it just horses and cats mushed together?
Yeah, a hippo cat miss. Did you say?
Cat hit points and horse hit points.
Okay, so the cats take 34 damage each.
Damn.
But how many hit points the cats had each was 20.
Yay!
So rather than a dozen cats being flung across the room, instead the other wall of the room, just the wall on the other side of you and the cats, is suddenly coated with a thin layer of horse cat paste.
Oh.
I
there's
cannot
a-
explain how happy I am right now.
As there's a thunderous boom that rocks the very tower, seemingly to its foundations. You can hear it even downstairs in the ritual chamber. Jeffrey Banjo, you're underneath a violently thrashing demon who you think you've maybe just stabbed in the heart, but it depends whether him falling over onto the knife was cheating. Who
Okay.
knows? What are you doing?
I'm
Wiggle it in, Mog. Wiggle it in.
Yeah, I am actually. Yeah, I'm gonna commit. I'm gonna commit and just keep trying to wiggle the knife in.
Well, you wiggle and you jiggle and you maybe kind of like twist it a little bit. Is that mean? Too mean? Is that like a too mean for pure of heart kind of a thing? It's not clear. But what is clear, that suddenly there's a bright white glow bursts from the demon's chest where you're stabbing it with the dagger. It's quite hard to see because your face is mostly just full of like the demon's kind of like neck.
Okay.
Because you're like, because he's taller than you and he's like
Sure.
collapsed on top of you, so you've got mostly just it's a surprisingly hairy neck.
Ooh, neck hair, solid.
It's but there's this burst of white light and the demon seems to explode from the inside until there's nothing left of him but a few wisps of black vapor and a voice that slowly curses you as it fades gradually away. You daft buggers, I curse you.
Oh, was it Ichthor's voice, or was it a voice that we heard maybe earlier of sound more low blow-esque?
You're pretty sure it was Ichthor's voice.
Okay. I cursed you, or I curse you.
I curse you.
Okay.
What a
Thanks,
party.
Graham.
At the same time as this happens, there's a thunderous boom from upstairs, and you can't tell if that's just a dramatically appropriate sound effect or... But it appears that you've slain the demon. Bagsy badly. Jeffrey's on the floor looking... Well, how do you look, Jeffrey?
Well, so the demons, like disintegrated and moved away,
He's
or do I still have a body on me?
He's disintegrated into puffs of black mist.
Oh, okay. In that case, I'm laying back. I've just got wide eyes completely, and I've still got my hand on the dagger, and I'm just like shaking a little bit and look up to Bagsy and say, "Wow."
Bagsy Badly.
Yes. Oh, so I go over to help Jeffrey up, and I extend my hand, and I'll use my lay on hands to heal him that 1 point that he lost.
Thank you.
And then I whisper to him, "That still doesn't count as your first time."
I look away sheepishly, but I don't say anything. I'm not even going to. I do say something actually. I'm not going to even respond to that. It's clearly not my first time.
And so I think we should continue upwards.
Right, we've got to find a cow, right?
Yeah. Obviously, that goes into the cat room that we don't know about yet. But what can I see? Is there like a convenient ladder?
Well, there's a very obvious trapdoor that you helped Reverend Hatchet through mere moments ago, as you may recall.
I do, yes.
It's easy enough to climb up there.
So I'll give Jeffrey a boost up first, and then I'll climb in afterwards.
You give Jeffrey a boost up, and you climb up after, and you both find yourselves in an extremely cluttered room. Wooden chests, metal boxes, tables, bookshelves, benches, chairs, all strewn across the floor, along with a strange collection of eclectic objects. A compass, a jug of milk, the same solid gold coin as earlier, just lying on the floor by Trim's feet. But you also see Trim Toscobble covered in a horrendous match of scratch marks. But also, she kind of looks a bit like, have you ever done one of those video game things where they put the texture on the wrong kind of shape? It's like if somebody took the texture for a cat and put it on a person. So it's a bit like the movie Cats, honestly.
Yeah.
And there's a sense of revulsion that is just inherent to seeing that. But you also see Reverend Hatchet, who's looking quite smug, standing in front of a wall that appears to be covered in a slightly hairy pate.
This room has lots of things that I could put in my mouth.
Do you say this out loud? Because if you do, I'm just going to walk over to the compass and pick the compass up, because I'd like the compass before she does that. Please.
Yeah. Yes, I do say that out loud.
If you are including the cat paste in things you would put in your mouth, I will make a note that it is horse cat paste.
Yes.
Just FYI.
So Jeffrey, you pick up the compass and it kind of like spins around for a moment, and it points off to your right.
Oh. Okay, but it wasn't pointing before I picked it up.
Well, it was, but you unless you picked it up without like rotating it at all.
Oh, okay, cool.
Like with perfectly level, perfectly steady hands.
Standard, obviously. But I was just trying to make sure that it wasn't like activated and it wasn't pointing towards something that, wasn't like true north, for example.
Well, I mean, do you know where true north is?
No.
Then how would you?
No, I know I wouldn't know. But if it was pointing in
well, now you do because you have a compass.
That's very true. Yeah, now I do.
Yay.
Cool. Thanks.
So Jeffrey's picked up a compass. Anybody else?
Compass.
Just standing here awkwardly staring at each other.
I'm going to drink that milk.
You're going to drink it?
I'm going to drink that milk.
I'm just going to, while she's doing that, I'm going to point towards north and just let everybody know that that's north.
Thanks, Jeffrey. Thanks a lot.
Bagsy.
Thanks, Jeffrey.
That's where north is.
The milk is too cold to drink.
Oh,
brain
and the
freeze.
teeth. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's a bit painful. Yeah, it's not nice. It's a bit.
Sounds painful.
Jeffrey, do you want a drink?
No, I'm all right, thanks. Do you know north's over there?
I don't think that it's north.
Oh, it is. I've got a compass.
I'm going to I'm going to undo my disguised self because I'm
quite creeped out by my own hands. I'm having one of those moments where you're like, my hands, and I'm just gonna change and be back to me. Maybe in a pot.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Suddenly,
As is the
Trim
custom.
returns to her normal self, which is, I guess, arguably less creepy.
Hello, it's me. In case you were wondering.
Oh God, you look awful. You look like you've been really beaten up.
Yeah, there's been attacked by some cats. I'm not doing so great.
Cats did this to you.
Cats.
They were
Enormous
horse cats.
Horse
Oh.
cats.
Big horse cats.
Whole room full of horse cats. It was horrific. But the cow is up there in the trapdoor just above us, and it pushed me in here. That cow is a bit of a I'm gonna say it, a bit of a twit.
Ooh.
Wow, calm down, Trim.
Trim, would you like some healing? Because
I didn't want to ask, but I
you
would
look
love
like-
some healing.
you look like garbage.
Yeah, we've
I-
both
I-
been in the
yeah.
wars, Trim. You know, Bagsy just
Really?
healed me before I came up here, but yeah,
Oh,
it's been.
gosh.
Phew, I killed a demon down there.
Oh,
Yeah.
you must have taken loads of horrible wounds.
Yeah, well, I've got this dagger, this cool little dagger now. Which is really
I
cool.
will
Nice.
heal. I will give poor old Trim 29 hit points.
Yay. 59.
Okay, you're now up to 59 hit points, Trim.
I have a question. The cup of tea, was that spilt by the thunder waves or?
Strangely, no.
Huh.
What a great thing.
Curious. I'm going to go and investigate this because I like a cuppa.
Unfortunately, it's too hot to drink.
Oh.
Hang on
Hold
a
on
minute.
second.
Hang on.
What
What
if we Goldilocks
Jeffrey,
the
can you
situation?
put a little image?
The cold milk.
Well,
the hot
well, I've got
tea?
a compass and a knife. I can't put either of those in there.
Who's got the? Sorry, who had the?
Bagsy's got milk.
Bagsy,
Bagsy,
got
can you?
cold milk.
I
Just a-
put just a splish into
Yeah, just
Reverend's
a
tea.
Just a
spot.
bit.
Not,
Yeah, don't want
not
to
too much.
overdo
Not
it.
too much.
Oh yeah.
We're not monsters.
How's it now?
You
Can
raise
drink
the
it?
teacup to your lips, noting as you do how delicate and dainty and lovely it is.
Ah.
Oh, what a
You
nice.
take a sip from the tea that was cursed to be always too hot to drink, that you've put a splash of milk that was cursed to be always too cold to drink to put in. What does it taste like? Can you stand its temperature, whether it is too high or too low? Is the rest of today's episode just going to be fiddling with mildly cursed objects? All these questions and more answered after the break in Tales of Adventure.
Yeah.
We'll be back in 10 minutes, 5 minutes. Welcome, returning travelers, to part 2 of episode 2 of season 11 of Tales of Adventure. We resume our story at a pivotal moment. Their foes defeated, our brave adventurers have taken the moment and seized their opportunity to combine a splash of milk that was cursed to be too cold to drink with a cup of tea that was cursed to be too hot to drink. Reverend Hatchet takes a sip and experiences what can only be described as a uniquely awful sensation as he gets both sort of like an ice cream headache and a burned tongue at the same time.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah, not fun.
That's rough.
Oh, sorry, Reverend. That looks tough. You alright?
Oh, I mean, the maths was there, wasn't it? Really, it sort of.
Yeah.
Goldilocks effect. It should have been okay, but no.
It could have been something wonderful.
Yeah, 2 extremes, mate. Sorry.
Disappointing cups of tea aside, it seems that there is now nothing standing between you and your goal of murdering a cow, except to cross the room and climb up through the trapdoor in the ceiling that Trim Toscobble has already come down through because she was pushed by that self-same cow just moments ago.
Wait.
Your quest looks as though it's nearly at an end, just halfway through the 2nd episode out of 3. Surely there will be no 3rd act twist.
Easy.
There's loads of stuff in this room, and I don't.
The floor is littered with stuff.
I think we should have a look at some of it.
Shall we have a look at it? Shall we all say we can each pick one item?
Yeah.
And then
I'm going to have 5.
to remind us of this, because this is like it's got to be one of the easiest missions that we've ever done.
I mean,
as a party.
I mean, it took a lot of mortal wounds, but sure, yeah, it's been fine. It's been fine.
Sure. Okay. They're all mortal, though, aren't they?
I walk like 5 paces and then pick up the first thing I see.
Whilst I generate Bagsy's random first thing she sees, I'd just like to take a brief sidebar to note the extreme confidence that you've got in saying this is an easy quest when I've literally opened the quest by swearing to kill you all. Multiple times.
Pretty easy.
Bagsy.
Nah, he doesn't mean it.
You find a piece of old toast.
Oh.
Yum. It's really dry.
Brown or white?
So I nibble on it and then I'm like, oh man, if I knew there was something to drink around here.
It's brown, it's multi-seeded.
Oh, that's
good.
It's like granary bread.
I'm down with that.
Yeah, fair.
It would be really lovely if it had been freshly toasted, but it's so old. It's dry. It's kind of it's almost crispy, but not like in the good way.
I am going to keep this though. This seeded piece of dry toast.
Fair.
a long journey back. You might want a snack.
Oh, I've got plans.
with the toast.
Got plans with the toast?
I do.
Got toast
Oh,
plans.
Bagsy.
Excellent.
Oh, Bagsy.
Trims, you said you were going to have 5, huh?
I'll have many items, as many as I can. I see there's a book, and I'm not a very wise person. I will be the first to admit that. And I don't have many learns in my backpack, so I'm gonna take a look at one of these books and be like, oh, I might learn a thing or two.
So the books seem to be all part of one collection.
Yeah.
The one that you've picked up, you read the title on the spine, and it is A Library of Books on Totally Unethical Goat Farming, Volume 13.
Oh. Well, I suppose I should start at Volume 1.
Okay,
I'm gonna rummage around for Volume 1. Is there a Volume?
Yeah, you find Volume 1 not too difficult. You open it up on the first page. It says first rule of totally unethical goat farming: steal some goats.
Okay. I think I could do that. I think I could do that. I'm going to try and cram volumes 1 to 5 in my bag. And
out of at least 13.
I won't be able to carry all of them.
my bag isn't very big.
Just take the prime numbers.
There's only 3 in that, isn't there? 1, 7.
1 is not a
13?
prime number.
1's not a prime number.
3 is.
No.
3. I thought 1 was a prime number.
As is 5.
The prime numbers between 1 and 13 are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, and 13.
There you go.
I did not know that.
Take those Oreos.
I was just thinking
There you go.
the thing this Dungeons and Dragons show needed was more maths.
Well, math.
Yeah.
Well, Trim's learning.
It's
and
fun
I'm
to
learning,
learn.
And that's what's good. Trim wanted to learn, and now she is.
There's also, Trim, there's that gold coin that you threw to distract the cats.
But you keep mentioning.
Well,
It's
it's because
shiny.
it's next to your foot, and
It's
based
next
on
to-
historical precedent, I feel like, you know,
I would take
it's the kind of thing you would notice. Like, I'm
I
not saying you have to take it. It's just, you know, you tend to focus quite almost laser-like on golden shiny things.
Well, I'm going to pick up the golden shiny thing and take a closer look. Is there anything strange about this golden shiny thing?
Well, it's a lovely shiny gold coin. It doesn't appear to be unusual. Do you do the kind of like the old timey kind of like bite the coin to see like how pure it is, and it's really soft. You put teeth marks into it. You're pretty sure this is solid gold, which would actually make it worth quite a lot more than a gold piece, because gold pieces aren't made of solid gold anymore. Because what would that do to the economy? I mean, really, you can't have coins be worth the metal they're made of.
Yeah, no. It's a
Daft.
whole other podcast, that. It's
Mm.
a whole other thing.
Fantasy economics. Ask me how. Anyway, yeah, it appears to be a reasonably valuable gold coin.
Okay,
It's
as much
Definitely
as
not mildly cursed.
as much as I feel like I shouldn't take this at all, I don't know that Trim has the wisdom to know. So she's gonna just pop it in her sock. She's gonna pop it in her sock there. Keep it safe.
Is that where you keep your other coins?
No, my coins are in my
She has
bag.
huge bulging ankles.
Yeah, got cankles.
And
It's
if
amazing how you can be so stealthy, isn't it, really? Because
Mm.
you would have thought you'd jingle around all over the place.
Like a Morris dancer with every step.
But the plus side of that is if it is solid gold and it's in your sock, you can use it, you can swing your sock and use it to bludgeon people later.
Yes.
So, Trim, as you put the coin in your sock, you hear a strange kind of like crunching noise from your bag. It's sort of like a crunch.
Mine, is that my books on unethical goat farming?
What? Under what circumstances do books go crunch?
I thought they might have crunched the other things in the bag, like squash
What?
things. Or
What other things have you got in your bag that would go crunch?
I've got my ball bearings. I've got my.
What is? But
I've
ball
got my
bearings don't go crunch.
I've got my thieves' disguise kit, which might have bits of paper and the like.
Well, all right,
Packet of
it might
crisps.
do. It sounded more kind of like it didn't sound like paper. It wasn't like a crumpling. It was a crunching.
I'm going to take my bag off and have a look, see what's going on.
So there's the books. There's all your ball bearings. There's your thieves' tools. There's your disguise kit. There's your spiky
Okay.
helmet, because I think you took that off briefly.
Yeah, I love that.
But the weird bit is the little bit in the pocket in your bag that you put all your gold coins, like your gems in, is full of seashells.
I'm so
Amazing.
sad.
Amazing.
Trim has a little cry, and you know when they're kind of like in a tragic scene where people like pick things up and like it runs through their fingers, and they're like, "Why?" Trim's gonna do that. She's gonna like, "Ah!" And she's gonna be like, "How could this?" She's gonna throw them around. She's gonna like have a bit of a tantrum and just throw them around and.
And Bagsy sees this, and because Bagsy isn't that materialistic, she doesn't really care about money. She is going to turn around just so that Trim can't see her laughing. And she's just going to go because she thinks it's quite funny.
I'm going to try and I'm going to go to Trim and give it a look. Hey, Trim, don't worry. Like, I don't have any material possessions or money or anything. Look at me, I'm okay.
You're not okay, Reverend. You're not okay. You say you're okay, but you're clearly not.
I'm mostly made of fungus.
What do you mean he's not okay?
I just get the sense that deep within this mossy friend of mine, there's a heart that beats some sadness.
I don't know if I've got a heart.
That's my point.
No, I mean, I don't know if this body works in the kind of normal respiratory kind of circulation way,
Sure.
like a normal human or mammal does. Anyway, I think I do osmosis now.
Do you mean photosynthesis?
Yeah, that as well. Yeah, yeah.
And everything.
Oh, yeah.
Got to hydrate through, haven't you?
Trim's just going to keep crying, and throughout the rest of this adventure, just imagine Trim crying and just remembering, like when you remember that you've lost something, and it's like, oh, this is a big loss. This is a big loss.
All your tears will really moisten that toast I've got.
Ooh.
What a weird thing to say.
But I still have plans for that toast, so I'm not going to moisten my toast with Trim's tears.
Well, I don't like that you keep on saying plans for that toast. It's really distressing.
You don't want to get your toast too wet. Everybody knows it. Nobody likes a wet toast.
Soggy toast.
You're not the only one that can have plans. Sometimes Bags has got plans, and they involve very, very dry toast.
Just out of idle curiosity, do any of your plans involve advancing the plot at all? No.
Yes, sometimes.
She's going to carry on rooting around through this pile of Monoglycusts. It's good.
No, there was that cow that we needed to. Should we go off the cow?
You could do.
All right, let's go kill a cow.
Why did we have to kill the cow again?
So because we're 85% cursed.
Oh,
now.
So we don't get any curse.
We're unpure as well, and you're the only pure one. So you need to be the one to
killing
stab
the
the cow
demon,
in
not
the
the
heart.
cow.
We were helping the old dude.
Yeah. Why do we have to kill
Loblo
the cow?
Watkins. We were helping him. Yeah.
Do we have to take the cow from the heart? I think it's
Loblo
Loblo's
Watkins.
heart
Yes.
inside the cow. We have to get the heart from the cow, give it back to that strange old fortune teller.
That is correct. And then he said that in return for that, he would help to lift the curse that you had been placed under by a mysterious and powerful godlike being, aka me, because I hate you.
Great. So let's kill the cow. Right. I'm going to lead the way up the trapdoor. Let's go.
Okay.
That's easy enough. You're collectively smart enough, I suppose, to be able to climb up through a trapdoor. Although some of you are far too short.
Do I need to throw anyone up?
Can we do some boosting, please? Yes.
You don't need to, but you certainly could choose to.
All right, I throw Reverend Trim and Jeffrey.
Thank you.
I can get up myself.
But then how do you get up, Bagsy?
I'm pretty tall. Can I reach it?
Oh, you could, I think you're supposed to be able to reach half your height up, so you could probably reach, you could reach 15 feet above your head. No problem. Yes, you could do that. Yes.
I do that,
pull yourself up.
I do that, but I also do a couple of press ups.
Chin ups. Just doing chin ups.
Chin ups. Yeah, just a few, just to it's arm day, and then I get up.
So Bagsy summarily throws the three of you through the trapdoor in the ceiling onto the roof of the tower. And then does chin-ups on the hole before climbing through herself. You find yourselves on the roof of the tower. It's circular and surrounded by a crenellated battlement. It's just flat stones here. And the only thing here that's really... it's not the only thing here. Like, you've got a really good view of the forest. Like, if you like forests, it's a really killer view. You've got some rolling hills in the distance. Maybe you can just gently see the glows of the city lights of Silver Crown. That's where you're supposed to be going. In the distance, the moon has just come out from behind a cloud. Looks quite pretty.
Lovely.
There's probably like room for a beautiful landscape to be illustrated in a ridiculously short amount of time here, if you felt the inclination.
What a delight.
Classic.
But
Wait,
most importantly, looking at the four of you as you emerge from the trapdoor with big, round, friendly eyes is a Highland cow covered in a long, luxurious coat of fluffy orange fur with great big horns on its head that curl round in a beautiful way. It's just regarding you with the openness and curiosity of a truly innocent being.
Right, who wants to open it up then?
I wander over to it and I give it a lovely stroke and a chin scratch.
The cow licks your hand.
I lick its hoof.
The cow, as you bend down to lick its hoof, the cow makes eye contact with you and you share a moment and you know that in a strange way you are kindred spirits.
Yeah.
For this cow too likes to fight and to do the other things that you like to do.
Banging.
Yes.
Cool. So how
For
do we
a moment you feel a strange kinship to this cow and you think of your child and your husband who you haven't seen in literally years now and have actually remarried briefly, but then your new wife got killed by space lightning. It was weird.
It's lightning.
I'm going to braid this cow's hair.
Okay, anyone just off the top of their heads, what skill do you roll to braid a cow's hair?
Animal handling?
Sleight of hand?
I don't think you could make an eye for any of those, really.
Braiding hair is an
Performance?
art. No, braiding hair is an art form. How good at that am I?
Oh, that would be performance then, yeah.
Okay.
Oh dear. That's a natural one.
What have I done to the cow?
Ripped its hair out.
You start to braid the cow's hair, but then you realise as you share this sort of like motherly moment with the cow that it's been so long since you've seen your own child pickle badly that you've kind of lost touch with your mothering instinct, and you find yourself just shedding a gentle tear as you tangle this cow's fur more and more badly as you're trying to do something nice for the cow, but you can't. There's your nurturing instinct has withered away and atrophied like the legs of someone who's been paralyzed, and it's a horrible moment of realization. What if your own child wanted their hair braided and now you can't do that?
I'm very sad now.
Two members of the party are crying on this rooftop with the cow.
I kiss the cow's brow.
The cow licks away some of your salty tears because cows like salt licks.
They do.
So, is nobody going to open it up then?
I'm glowering at the cow and I'm like, that cow pushed me down the trap door. It's a twit. I've told you this before. It's got a nasty little heart inside that cow.
Probably need to get it out then, right?
Maybe the cow will be nice again. Equally, I don't care if it dies. So,
Well, just a second. Do we have to kill the cow here? Can we not bring the cow to Low Blow Watkins alive?
how would we do that?
From behind the four of you, at this point, you hear the voice of Low Blow Watkins. No, I'm already here. You can just kill it now.
What?
You spin round, and he's just casually leaning on one of the crenellations, still wrapped in a cloak, still really weirdly handsome, given how old he is. That mustache, it's the Tom Selleck mustache.
Yeah, that's what you said. Yeah.
You can't tear your eyes away from it.
How did you?
He seems very nonchalant.
How did you get up on top of the tower? How did you?
Oh, I flew.
You could have done this. You didn't need us to do this.
No, I still need you to kill the cow. I can't. I can't get I can't get in it. I'd like to. I'd very much like to. He kind of like reaches out and kind of like makes a graspy motion at the cow, but his hands kind of stop just about a foot away. It's like I can't. It's part of the magic thing. Ichthor was very careful about it. He was a bit of a collector. You've probably seen his collection of cursed stuff.
Yeah, but
yes,
we killed Ichthor though, isn't it? Wouldn't that have lifted it?
Nah, it doesn't work like that.
Oh, okay.
I kind of wish it did, but in this specific situation, it has not worked like that. And I still need you four to kill that cow to give me my heart back so that I can put it back in. And he flashes his robe open again. My heart hole.
It's at that very moment while he's flashing us his heart hole that I throw the dry piece of toast into his heart.
Into his heart.
Into
his heart hole.
Yeah.
Dry and crispy.
Okay, so you've not rolled well. Perhaps you failed to consider the ballistic properties of a slice of extremely old dry toast.
It's all in the wrist.
But what actually happens is that it sort of cartwheels through the air a bit weirdly and does a couple of flips and bounces off the corner of his heart hole and then lands on the ground at his feet. And there's a couple of crumbs that go in there, you think, but certainly not a whole slice.
Okay.
He looks at the toast on the floor, and then he looks up at you, and he kind of pulled like a bemused shrug. What was that for?
I really wanted to defeat you and say you're toast.
You wanted to defeat me? What? Are we enemies? I don't feel like we're enemies. I offered to lift a curse from you if you got my heart out of that cow, and you've not gotten the heart out of the cow, and now you're throwing toast into a very private place.
I mean, you were flashing it, to be fair. I mean,
so what? So I was asking for people to throw toast into my heart hole just because you could see it? That is victim blaming of the highest caliber. What? I'm not convinced that you're good enough to be the heroes to kill that cow and give me my heart back. You seem like you're pretty mean people.
Oh, well, maybe we are. That's the case. Maybe we should just go home and leave you be. Good luck with getting the cow.
What? I didn't say that. I mean, maybe most of you are, kind of shitty people. But I know at least one of you. At least one of you is pure of heart. Isn't that right, Jeffrey?
Apparently so, yeah. Does that mean I've got to kill the cow? I don't want to kill the cow.
Well, no, but I mean, you should want to help me because we had a deal, right? You don't want to go back on your words.
No, of course not. No. But still, it's killing the cow, I'm all right with demons and stuff like that because that's quite heroic, isn't it? I can put that in my book, but like killing a cow doesn't seem that heroic.
You can put in your book that a demon fell on you and the dagger you were holding went into his chest.
That's not how it's going to be in the book, but
are you going to lie in your book?
I'm gonna leave certain things out and maybe exaggerate certain things. It's what people expect in a memoir. Anyway, killing a cow, you can exaggerate so much if you want, but it's not going to make it any more heroic, is it? It's just a cow up here. The top of
it's not
castle.
the first time that you've killed an innocent animal that was just minding its own business.
Yes, squirrels recently.
Yeah, you killed a lot of squirrels quite recently.
Squirrels are food.
There was that alligator. There was that alligator you exploded in the sewers.
I didn't kill that either.
That alligator started it. The alligator did start it.
Also, I didn't kill any of them.
I deny all allegations. I really do.
Allegations.
Haven't you been taking credit for killing the dragon that I killed, though?
The cloaca incident.
Normella human woman.
Oh, that was like, me and, my crew, yeah.
I suppose we were all complicit there.
After she made you the dragon bard. She bestowed a great honour upon you and then you just turned round and killed her.
I think she did also. Did she try to kill a lot of people?
Yeah, she did a lot of that. She was bad. This is my point, though, is that like anybody that I've been complicit in killing has been bad or it's been self-defense. Cow hadn't done anything to me.
Yeah,
That
this cow
what-
is
no,
lovely.
Is it though? Didn't it push your friend down that trapdoor? Hasn't this cow been consorting with demons?
I look at
I'm
the cow
very
in the eye.
happy.
What vibe do I get? Do I get a demon cow?
Cows have
What
such lovely
vibe?
eyes.
What vibe?
What vibe?
Yeah.
How vibe?
You look at the cow in the eye.
Yeah.
Vibe check. Hold on. I guess that would be insight. What? How do you have plus 13 in that as well?
I know things.
God, fucking bards. Okay, so that's a 7 plus 13 is 20. You look the cow in the eye, and you do get a sort of tricksy vibe from the cow.
Like evil Trixie or like fun Trixie?
I don't know. You're not quite sure.
Okay.
Like you feel like there's something more to the cow that has not yet been revealed, possibly that the cow knows about and is kind of like doing. You know when you look someone in the eye and you think they're concealing a secret, and it's not like quite a smirk, but they've got like a twinkle.
Yeah.
Bagsy, you know the circle, the zone of truth, the circle of truth. You know you can compel people to tell the truth. Does that work for animals?
Can I message the cow and see if it reacts?
I mean, more to the point, you can't cows can't talk.
Yeah, I know, no.
Oh,
yeah, but this is the
can't
point, though.
they?
I'm getting a vibe that there's something more to this cow. I want to
Like
see
a
if I can
human
message
in a
it.
cow
and,
body.
yeah,
If you're
exactly.
trying to determine whether or not the cow is evil, then one of you is a paladin. That's
or
a thing.
really
you
a cow is what I'm
Yeah.
getting at, or whether they've been trapped or cursed
Oh,
themselves.
you think
and
this
it's
is
something
somebody
that was-
else?
Yeah, it's an X something that is now a cow.
Well, I'm going to cast Speak with Animals,
Oh, that's fair. Okay.
and then we're going to get this cow to spill its guts. Possibly metaphorically, possibly literally. We'll see how the chats go.
Yeah.
Okay.
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 Hang on a minute.
Mr.
Yep, go for
Cow. Mr. Cow. Or
Ms. Cow, actually.
Ms. Cow. Ms. Cow. But I mean, Bags, if you've got any truth related ideas, just throw them in there. Ms. Cow.
I cast Zone of Truth.
Okay. The cow fails its save. Reverend Hatchet, you fail your save. Trim, you fail your save. Jeffrey, I think, passes.
Nice.
Yes, Jeffrey passes, but it's the only person to pass the save.
No.
What about Low Blow?
He passes.
Okay.
So, Reverend Hatchet, Trim, and the cow are all now telling the 100% the truth and cannot tell a lie.
Ms. Cow, are you really a cow?
Yes.
Have you always been a cow? Ask her that.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have
Have
ask
you
her if she
got-
multiple hearts?
Any grass?
What, like weed?
I mean, arguably, I am kind of made from grass, but that's not.
Cow bites you.
Ow! Why
I told you.
We're gonna pat it away. Just hey.
You take 2 damage as it takes a very small chunk of your arm.
I told you.
Can you explain why my friend here would get a tricksy vibe from you?
You taste funny.
That is, you are.
Avoiding the
Maybe
question.
I know
That is-
something you don't know.
Okay, right.
I love the idea that we're just hearing just moos.
Yeah.
Like, coming from both of these guys. They're just going, the cows just go moo, and
A
Hatchet's
brief
going,
excerpt of
moo.
what the conversation sounds like from the outside. Ask me a question in moos, Reverend Hatchet.
Murr, murr, murr.
Murr, 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 murr.
Right, this cow's being tricksy as shit. I mean,
Right.
I
telling
told
the
you.
truth, but being very evasive.
Jeffrey, if you don't want to kill the cow, I am more than happy to kill the cow.
Trim, you're not pure of heart.
We
You've got a dark heart.
Okay, look, Miss Cow.
It's true.
Miss Cow.
Yeah, I'm really not very nice.
Yes.
I'm going to level with you unless you give me a really great reason. One of my friends here is going to kill you and rip out your heart any minute now.
Moo. The cow is doing sort of like a laughing moo. Moo.
Dairy Lee advert. So that's-
Why,
Yeah, sure.
we're
Yeah,
na-
it's gonna.
And now we're just gonna go to our sponsors for a second.
why would you laugh, Moo? Why would you laugh, Moo?
Mulaf?
Moo.
Olaf.
I'm not the one who's going to die. Moo. You are. All of you. Moo.
Why would we die?
The cow moos again in laughter, and from behind you, a voice that sounds a little bit like the voice of Low Blow Watkins, but not really at all now, says, "Because I am going to kill you all." Ha 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 ha. As you turn, you can see that Low Blow Watkins has crouched over and seems to be growing in size. He swells up until he is 6 foot tall. He casts aside his cloak to reveal that he is not a wizened human man with a hole where his heart should be, but instead bedecked in fine silks in reds, purples, and gold. He is a tiger-headed humanoid and stands looming above you, claws on the ends of his hands, but you also notice that his hands are like on backwards. So his left hand is a right hand and his right hand is a left hand.
Creepy.
It's a bit confusing. He has what can only be described as the smuggest look in the world on his tigery face. As he says, "I was never any mere human fortune teller. I am your doom." Ha 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 ha.
Well, now I'm even more cross.
I don't know if any of you would actually recognise what kind of strange, horrible demon monster he is, which is a bit of a shame because it's going to be the pun title of the next episode.
Oh.
I'll tell you now. He is a
Just tell us.
Rakshasa.
Yeah,
He is a
someone in the comments got it well quick.
10 points to that person in the comments.
Okay.
You have indeed been cursed by a power from on high, and I am the one who is going to get the job done. Do you know how much of a promotion I am going to get for killing you? I won't just be some demonic trickster type thing. Once you're dead, I'm going to be the god of demonic trickster type things. It's got to be a whole new niche in the pantheon, just for me.
Oh.
Who are you working for? You're going to kill us. You may as well tell us everything you know.
Ha!
Yeah, that's
What
what they
usually
do in the
happens.
movies.
Yeah,
That's what they usually do. As is the custom.
Exposition. Do you think I'm so stupid as to tell you my evil plot and reveal the details of my scheme just before we fight so that I can die and then you can move on, probably after a big long fight, to the next thing up and progress some sort of sorting scale of ever tougher foes so that you get gradually stronger as the people you fight get gradually stronger? That's bloody stupid. No,
As
I'm
he's
not
doing
going
this, can we all start to sort of move towards the trapdoor exit as he keeps sort of saying? We keep
You can certainly try, but as you reach it, you notice that where the trapdoor is now just solid roof of the tower.
cool.
His tiger face smirks again.
Does he still have his Tom Selleck moustache and a tiger face?
Oh, yes.
Oh, lovely.
I'm imagining him as like a really trashy, like playboy kind of guy. He's like got all the like a swish swimming pool. He's really rich and luxurious, and like he's wearing like a robe and like a hairy chest. I'm just imagining
That is pretty much it. If you imagine like Tiger Hugh Hefner with his hands on backwards, you're not far off the point. But with the mustache, the mustache is important.
Still got the mustache. Nice.
If he's got backwards hands, does that mean he can't pick things up? Are they like?
He's probably got his own special way.
No, he just needs to pick them up like on the other side. So like you, with your right hand, you would normally reach from the right to pick something up, but he uses his right hand and reaches from the left.
But what if he needs to pick something up two-handed? Like, how does he
cross them over?
But isn't that don't you get in your own way?
What? Sorry, are you asking him how his hands work?
You distract him, Reverend. You distract him.
Weird, isn't it?
Wait, okay, so you come to actually kill us? Is that
That's correct, yes, so I have.
Why make us go through all of this? Up the tower and kill
down the tower.
To lure you into the perfect environment where I control literally everything. Behold! He waves his hand and the forest around you folds itself up and vanishes until you're just in the top of the tower, and around you is simply a flat, white, infinite plain that stretches off into the distance. He waves another hand and the moon turns into the sun, and suddenly it's bright as day. Here I am all powerful, and I can crush you like the bugs you are. He seems to grow larger and larger, as though you were using a telescope and magnifying him bigger and bigger and bigger until it seems like you are all just ants at his feet. He bends down and his face fills the sky above you as he reaches out with his weird backwards hand to menacingly threaten you with his claws. And there's nothing you can do about it. Is there indeed nothing they can do about it? What the heck am I doing throwing a ridiculously powerful creature at these chumps? Will I finally manage to kill one or more of them permanently? Find out in the next episode of Tales of Adventure!
Yes! Awesome.
In the meantime, stick around because we'll be doing a Q&A. Ask us any questions you would like to ask, and we will answer.
Does somebody want to write that in the chat as well? Because there's a slight delay for us. We'll be able to do that. Nice one. Oh, Rakshasa.
Join us again in 2 weeks' time for the showdown between our gang and Low Blow Watkins, the Rakshasa. That's not his real name, but he hasn't given you another one, so... Why would that be the name of a horrible demonic tiger thing?
I can't believe that's not his real name.
Yeah. Huh. Who'd have thunk?
Oh, I was all right with everything up until that point. Now that's not his real name.
It's astounding, isn't it?
Boom.
It's appalling. You lose faith in the world a little bit.
People are already giving us like advice and strategies. For what we
I love it.
Don't tell them how to beat him.
You probably convince him to leave you alone as you're small and insignificant. Yeah, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I mean, he's been promised that he'll be made a god if he kills you. I feel like...
if he kills us.
Pretty good.
Oh, when will Trevor the Trilobite return? This is a solid question.
Great question.
This is
Lovely
a great
question. Good
So
question.
this is our first... This is our first question. When will Trevor the Trilobite return?
Yeah, this
Are you
is your first
surprised?
question.
If only Trevor was with us now.
Graham, do you want to put your face in the? Do you want me to put your face in the stream thing?
You may if you wish.
Oh,
Yeah.
So, regarding Trevor the Trilobite, the last time Trevor the Trilobite was seen was when the entire marvelous menagerie of Dr. Orville Boros vanished into a time paradox.
Oh yeah.
So technically speaking, we could see Trevor the Trilobite again, literally any time, anywhere, when.
I hope so.
God, if we ever needed a Deus Ex Machina. It's Trevor the
What,
Trilobite.
just suddenly
now.
Trevor the Trilobite appears out of nowhere?
I would love that. He's our savior. I would love that.
Yes.
I hope very soon Trevor the Trilobite will return. Lovely question.
If Trevor was here now, what would he say to our questing heroes?
If anybody
Trevor was
knows.
here-
Yeah.
If Trevor was here now, he would probably say to our questing heroes, "Hello, I'm Trevor the Trilobite.
Yay!
Please remain in your seats during the tour. Despite any threats that might be issued to you, you are perfectly safe."
We've
Oh,
got
I
a
miss
few
that
people
guy.
asking you how you are, Steve, after your
Because you were very poorly.
virus reveal.
Yeah. Did you really have
Well.
coronavirus? How are you doing?
I have not officially been tested to find out whether or not I had the coronavirus, because very few people have been tested. Let's not get into politics. I feel fine. I've completely recovered. I had a weird grab bag of symptoms, some of which were coronavirus appropriate and some of which just seemed quite odd. I didn't, for example, have much in the way of respiratory stuff, but yeah, I'm fine. Can you do the Trevor? Can you do the Trevor voice again, please? I'm going to treat this as a question in the question and answer session, and the answer is yes. I can do the Trevor voice again.
What's your favourite D&D monster?
My favourite one that we fought so far was the dragon form of Nuella, human woman, because I got to stick a hallucinogenic toad up her cloaca and make her have a trip and then cut her wings off, and that was really fun for me.
Nice.
I liked. Was it like a Nothic or something like that? That giant eye.
The eye
Creature?
was good.
Is it a beholder or something like that?
Which one? The one from last season or the one from way back when we were preparing for the show?
The one last season, like just a massive. It was just a really lovely image, just enormous eye. I find that really scary.
That's a beholder. I do think they're one of
Beholder.
the classic. They're one of the classics, I will say.
What's the difference between a Nothic and a beholder?
A Nothic is what happens to a wizard who tries to become a lich but fails, and it's sort of like a half twisted humanoid figure that has like sneaky mind powers. And a beholder is like a crazy ball of eyes that shoots laser beams from its eyes.
Thank you very much.
Here's a good question. If the heroes had to split up and survive on their own, which of them do you think would be the most successful?
I
Successful
reckon
at surviving
Bagsy.
or like financially successful?
I think surviving.
Oh, okay.
I think
I
it would
reckon Bagsy.
unquestionably be Reverend Hatchet.
Yeah, it's Rev.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
just-
Reverend Hatchet.
I don't know if he'd just go about his own happy little
would.
world.
Yeah.
You just keep
talk to the
regenerating
trees.
like Doctor Who.
Yeah.
You
It's
just wouldn't
a
die.
combination of factors. Like the first thing is that like, the way I would see it is like Jeffrey is right out.
Hey?
Yeah.
No.
Sorry, Jeffrey. It's just you're not.
Yeah,
No,
come
wouldn't
on.
cope.
Yeah.
Well, you're just
Yeah.
not a successful kind of a guy.
No.
And I feel like Trim is too kind of indecisive and like
And
wrapped
has
up in
died a
of
lot
bad-
already.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If anyone's
Yeah.
gonna you've got past. You've got.
So it's down to
I think I
Bagsy
need
and
you
Reverend
both.
Hatchet, and I feel like Bagsy gets into more trouble than Reverend Hatchet. And you do really
Yeah.
well with that, but also there's just also the inherent power levels in Dungeons and Dragons mean that spellcasters like druids are just better than everyone else.
Yeah.
So
Just-
it's druid's got to take it. Drew's got to take it.
Nice one, Rev. Nice one, Rev.
Well played.
Steve, what's your favourite dice set?
My favorite dice set.
Yeah, it's a question.
I think what just of the dice sets I own, or like in an abstract set, like what is my favorite?
Question, what is Stephen's favourite dice set?
You know what? My favorite dice set is a set of D10s that I got from a really old miniatures game that was set in the Aeon Trinity universe. It was great. It was a role-playing game that had 3 different settings. One that was in the 1930s that was pulp. one that was in the 1990s that was superheroes, and one that was in like the 2100s that was like sci-fi, psychics and mutants kind of thing. And they're all set in the same timeline. It was great. And they're like orange with black highlights. Great set of dice. I love them.
Here's a good question. Where's John the Octopus and Fish Boy?
John, I kind of decided that John the Octopus and Fish Boy the Kitten are kind of convalescing. They're on holiday for this season because I thought it's confusing as hell enough with us all coming on different feeds without me also narrating two animals on top of all of our imagined silliness. So I've given them a holiday, but they will return.
In a more generalized sense, it's also true of all animal companions. They sort of exist in a sort of extra dimensional space outside of the world until people remember that they're supposed to be with us.
Fair. That's fair.
That's fair. What will Jeffrey call his book?
Oof. I mean, it's open for suggestions. Actually, there's a few things that are going on which are top of the list.
Yeah.
Obviously, just banjo, single word. I think that'll be.
What kind of font are we talking?
That'd be really good. Just like a strong font with like a sans serif. Obviously, just popping that out there.
Yeah.
Massive, like it's a sort of a spy thriller book, one of those standard things.
Right.
Or it's going to be called something like Jeffrey Banjo's Memoirs of a Dragon Bard, or something like that. Or
Dragon Brad, please.
Dragon. Yeah, well, we're gonna get that right. As soon as I can get to a tailor, I'm gonna get that right. But we haven't been to a tailor yet.
You've had like multiple opportunities to visit a tailor.
Jeffrey, Banjo, and the Dukes of Haphazard, or something like that. Because we're still the Haphazards.
We are.
I think we've probably got time for one more question. Does anyone want to
but there's so many good questions, isn't
there? Dream D&D guest. That's kind of fun. Dream guest.
To play in the show?
Yeah, like if we could have anyone.
Dwayne Rock Johnson.
Guest stars. Dream guests. Can I have?
Wayne, if you're listening,
you said Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
You know what? I think Dwayne the Rock Johnson would be great fun.
Yeah.
He has been referenced in the show before. Like.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Dwayne, just get in touch.
Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Yeah.
You can tweet us.
It's a collective decision.
Whatever.
Yeah, it would be. Anybody else got any other ones that would be good?
I think dream guests. We should have Freddy Krueger because he's good at fighting.
He's literally a nightmare guest.
Have you taken it? Dream guest.
Dream guest, nightmare guest.
Solid.
There's some great questions here. Like
maybe the Queen.
Quick fire rounds.
Okay.
Will we ever hear from that orangutan wizard from season 1? No, his corpse is now just floating through space somewhere. I had planned for his corpse to float through the background of the season where they were in space, but we just never got the chance.
Yep.
Does Jeffrey consider his virginity linked to his father issues?
Jeffrey's virginity has never been fully confirmed or denied during the show.
I'm going to say yes. Voice of God, it's linked. It's heavily linked.
So nobody knows. It's a big mystery. It's very mysterious as a person.
Will we ever see a spin-off adventure with John the Octopus, Fish Boy, and Francis the Camel?
I feel like that has to be like an animated short.
Oh my god!
No, I feel like that could be a bonus episode. But also, what about Not Jerk, the original sidekick?
What about Not Jerk?
But also, guys, you could draw that. We could have that in drawing form if you want to draw.
If you want to do a fan art, that would be a good fan art.
Like a poster trailer concept.
Yeah.
Why does Bagsy love sex so much?
She's just got a really
You
high
ever had?
libido. Do you know what?
Yes,
Do you know what?
it is. It's nice.
When I was reading that, it's just got free little stars, and I
It
didn't
meant
realize.
tea.
I didn't realize it meant sex. I thought it was going to say ass.
Wait, hang on. You've got your sensor filter on?
Yeah, I didn't realize. Just.
That's so funny. And then
But Bagsy loves it because it feels real good, and it fills a void. Both the void is what she calls a vagina.
Awesome. I think we've got one more question.
Okay, the final question.
Yeah. Mhm.
If all of the heroes signed up to take part in an episode of Come Dine With Me, who would win and who would have the most disastrous dinner party?
Bags is actually a very good cook. From her mothering days, she's used to making family meals, so I think she'd do pretty well.
Well,
Plus, she loves a pie.
That's true. I think Jeffrey would finally create some curry hot dogs, get a Christmas vibe going on. He would also absolutely nail the performance, as much as everybody would hate it. Hate that he's nailing it, he would nail it. So, you know.
The Reverend would 100% just like offer a palmful of soil to everyone and just kind of face towards the sun. So he would lose 100%. Yeah, just straight up.
I feel like Reverend Hatchet's going to be the worst one.
I think Trim would do like she'd serve some kind of array of dead things that she thinks are lovely, but no one else really gets.
No,
but
I think Trim would like get someone else to cook and then try and get that cooking past towards her own.
that classic thing where they go to Iceland and then but she'd be able to keep things very warm because she has prestidigitation where she can just keep things warm all the time. Nothing would go cold. So yeah, she would fully lie and cheat through it and still not win. Yeah.
Thank you for all your questions.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks, I think. So what's that, the 18th?
Yes, 2 weeks' time.
2 weeks.
Amazing.
And if you draw something you've seen in the show, you might win tickets to a future show when we eventually are able to go outside again.
Yeah.
And we will at least put your art in the slideshow. Middle.
Exactly. So tweet at us or pop it on the Facebook. And that'd be amazing.
Yeah,
because we love that stuff.
Indeed.
We love that art.
And the irrelevant @handles and things are going to be on the screen afterwards. Exactly.
Yes.
Awesome.
Come follow us and say hi.
Yeah. Join a community.
Thanks so much.
Right.
Thank
Have a
you
great
all for
weekend,
joining us.
everyone.
Have a good weekend.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.